It started with a coffee and ended with an empty wallet, a small treat, then a ride home instead of the bus. Dinner out, just once more. Each one felt harmless. But by the end of the month, I was broke. And this is where most people get it wrong. We think money disappears because of big purchases. But it's the small decisions, confusing wants with needs, that quietly wreck our budget. If you don't fix this one habit, no salary will ever feel enough. But here's the good news. In this video, I'll show you how to master the simple rule that can save you thousands. And if you stay till the end, there's a bonus strategy coming, something most people never think about. It can completely reshape your spending habits and give you control back over your money. Welcome to FinTech Innovate AI, the place where money finally makes sense. Understanding needs versus wants, the simple but powerful rule. Let's break down one of the biggest money traps most people fall into, not knowing the difference between needs and wants. It sounds simple, but this one rule can either make or break your budget. A need is something essential, like food, shelter, basic clothing, or transport to work. It keeps you safe, healthy, and functioning in daily life. A want is everything else, that upgraded phone, eating out, designer shoes, or subscriptions you barely use. They feel important in the moment, but they're not essential for survival. Now meet Sarah. She just landed her first job and wanted to reward herself. Nothing wrong with that. She bought a new phone, subscribed to premium apps, and started ordering lunch every day. Individually, none of it felt like overspending. But by the third week, her salary was almost gone, and rent was still due. This is where most people get stuck. They treat their wants like needs, because that's what marketing trains us to do. Ads don't sell products. They sell status, comfort, and FOMO. And over time, we start thinking, I need this to feel good, even when it's just a luxury. Understanding this difference and catching yourself in those moments is the first step to taking control of your money. Because once you can separate needs from wants, you stop spending emotionally and start spending with intention. The 50-30-20 rule, budgeting made simple. Now that you understand the difference between needs and wants, let's talk about how to manage them the smart way. There's a simple budgeting method that works for almost everyone. It's called the 50-30-20 rule. This rule helps you divide your income into 3 clear categories. 50% goes to your essential needs, things like rent, groceries, transportation, and bills. 30% is reserved for your wants, the fun stuff like shopping, dining out, and weekend plans. And the remaining 20% is for your financial future, savings, investments, or paying off debt. Let's say you earn Rs. $100,000 a month. You'd spend Rs. $50,000 on needs, Rs. $30,000 on wants, and Rs. $20,000 towards savings or debt repayment. It's not about strict control. It's about giving every rupee a purpose. You still enjoy life, but you also stay financially grounded. The beauty of this rule is its flexibility. If one month your expenses change, you can adjust and still stay in control. Because good budgeting doesn't mean cutting back on everything. It means being intentional with where your money goes, so you can enjoy today and build for tomorrow. How wants destroy your budget without you knowing? Here's something that surprises most people. Your budget isn't usually wrecked by big purchases. It's the small, daily wants that quietly drain your bank account without you even noticing. Let's look at the numbers. In the US, the average person spends over $3,000 a year on things they don't actually need. Food delivery, streaming platforms, impulse buys, and gadgets. Take food delivery, for example. Ordering DoorDash or Uber Eats 2 to 3 times a week might feel harmless. But if each order costs around $25, that's over $300 a month, just on convenience. Now meet Jason, a 29-year-old graphic designer from Seattle. He earns about $5,000 a month and considers himself responsible with money. But after tracking his expenses for 90 days, he was shocked. Jason was spending around $500 every month on random wants. fast food, monthly subscriptions, gaming apps, and spontaneous Amazon buys. Over the course of a year, that's $6,000 gone, and he couldn't even remember where most of it went. This is called unconscious spending. It's not reckless. It's just unnoticed. But it slowly eats away your income, leaving little behind for savings, investing, or long-term goals. And here's what makes it worse. It snowballs. The more you justify these wants, the easier it becomes to overspend without guilt. One small decision leads to another, and before you know it, your budget's out of control. This is how even high earners end up with empty accounts. Not because they don't make enough, but because their spending has no structure. The pause and ask method. A mental filter. Before every purchase. Before you buy anything, pause for just 5 seconds and ask yourself this. Do I need this to survive, work, or live? Or do I want this because it feels good right now? That simple question is a game changer. It pulls you out of autopilot and puts your brain back in control. Most impulse purchases happen in seconds. You're scrolling, you see something cool, and suddenly it's in your cart. Not because you need it, but because in that moment, it feels like it will make you happier. That's not random. It's dopamine at work. When you see something new or exciting, your brain releases a hit of dopamine, the same chemical that triggers pleasure and reward. Retailers know this. That's why apps are designed to make buying fast, emotional, and addictive. You're not just spending money, you're chasing a feeling. Here's where the 24-hour rule helps. If something isn't a true need, wait one full day before buying it. You'll be surprised how often the urge fades, and how much money you save by simply waiting. Impulse control isn't about depriving yourself. It's about making sure every purchase adds value to your life, not just to your mood in the moment. When you pause, you shift from emotional spending to intentional spending. And that shift is what builds long-term financial strength. Track, trim, transform. A 3-step. Fix that works every time. If your budget feels messy or unpredictable, here's a simple 3-step method that can reset everything. Track, trim, transform. Let's start with track. For the next 30 days, record every single expense. You don't need fancy apps or complicated spreadsheets. Even a notebook or your phone's notes app will do the job. This step is about awareness. When you actually see where your money goes, you start catching patterns you never noticed before. And once you see the problem, you can fix it. Next comes trim. Look at your spending and ask, what can I reduce or cut completely? Start with low-value wants, unused subscriptions, constant food delivery, or random online shopping. Most people find they're spending hundreds each month on things that don't really improve their life. Trimming those expenses gives you back control without making you feel like you're missing out. Finally, it's time to transform. Reallocate that extra money toward your bigger goals. That could mean saving for emergencies, paying off debt, or finally starting that investment plan you've been putting off. This method doesn't feel restrictive because you're still spending. But now, you're spending intentionally, not emotionally. It builds discipline without feeling like sacrifice. And that's what makes the change actually stick. How saying no today gives you financial freedom tomorrow. Every time you say no to a small want today, you're saying yes to something much bigger tomorrow. It might not feel like much in the moment, skipping a 15-hour lunch or passing on another gadget. But over time, these choices build real financial power. Think about what you could do with that extra money. You could finally take a debt-free vacation instead of putting it on a credit card. You could build a strong emergency fund that protects you during job loss or medical bills. Or you could start investing early and move one step closer to financial independence. This is the part most people overlook. It's not just about saving money. It's about creating options and giving yourself freedom. Because those little money leaks, the ones you ignore, they turn into big regrets later. Not because you spent too much, but because you didn't invest in what truly mattered. Here's the mindset shift. Budgeting isn't a restriction. It's a tool that lets you spend with purpose and plan your life on your terms. It gives you control, and over time, it gives you peace. Bonus tip: create a wants jar and make it visual. Here's a powerful trick most people never use. Create a separate jar, envelope, or digital wallet labeled wants only. Every time you say no to an unnecessary purchase, like that Rs 900 food delivery or Rs 600 impulse buy, move that same amount into the wants jar. Why? Because you're not depriving yourself, you're delaying gratification while watching your savings grow in real time. It's visual, it's emotional, and it flips your mindset from "I can't have this" to "I'm choosing when and how I enjoy it." It's one of the smartest ways to take control without feeling restricted. Here's the truth. Knowing the difference between needs and wants isn't just a budgeting trick. It's a lifelong money skill that will serve you in every stage of life. So this week, try the pause and ask method before your next purchase. Ask yourself, do I really need this, or do I just want it right now? You'll be surprised how much clarity that one question can bring. And now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one want you're going to cut back on starting today? Drop it in the comments. Your answer might inspire someone else to do the same. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.